make it. I almost didn't last. Why does the week go by so slow, the weekend so fast? But luckily the days come to take my cares away. It's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, that's right, it's Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekend. So I'll get out of bed and be to work on time. I'll give this day to the company, the next 2 days of mine. And when my day's over and the final work hour's passed, I'll go home, have a shot of Cuervo to the boss who can kiss my Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekends. Friday, Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, bitches. Enjoy yourselves. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous this weekend, at least today and tomorrow. Getting up into the upper 80s on Sunday and on Monday with lots of sunshine. We're talking near 90.
Last free weekend, I think, until July, so enjoy yourself. Mother's Day weekend, by the way.
Like October, maybe.
Say hi to Mom.
Yes, we got a lot of Mother's Day stuff to get to today. We got Doc joining us after 8 o'clock to talk racing. What's in theaters this weekend? Bad news, happy music, and all sorts of other stuff. Date night as well. Sign up online at rockmornings.com. You can win freebies, pizza. Like some pizza. Nothing wrong with pizza on a Friday. Score some date night
dinner
freebies.
Tonight, I think, by the way, pizza. Isn't that a Friday night dinner? That is.
Date night freebies online at rockmornings.com. You'll also find all of our contact info there, the daily podcast. You can listen to the show live. And we've got so much to get to this morning, so let's do that. Let's do that stuff. Let's do all the things. We got Mother's Day stuff. We've got Lincoln Park, White Stripes.
A new Pope.
We got a new Pope. We'll talk about that. All sorts of things. If you want to join us, again, rockmornings.com for all our contact info.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
The Vatican's taking applications, and bless your beer belly, it could be you. Get ready for Pope John Paul, y'all. We're hunting a genuine born and bred American to wear that big old hat. So if you can bless a casserole and shotgun a beer, then saddle up, Father Bubba. We're fixing to get a pope who can turn holy water into sweet tea and lead mass from a bass boat. Confess your sins and your cousins too. Pope John Paul, y'all, taking names and saving souls.
For the first time in the history of the world,
I think of the Catholic Church, yes.
we've got a American Pope.
Leo. I love that.
Pope Leo XIV is the first ever American Pope in the Church's history. There have been 267 of them. The new Pope was born Robert Francis Prevost at Mercy Hospital, south side of Chicago, back in 1955. He steps into the role of Pope at the age of 69. He'll turn 70 this September. Until now, a lot of his friends just called him Bob, but they're going to have to call him Mr. Pope or
Leo.
Sir,
Leo.
yes, sir. Pope the soap, soap the Pope. What do they call him? What do you just say? Hey, Pope.
So one of the most important jobs in the Catholic Church, obviously, and Peruvian, I believe, is his descent. He's 69 years old. A mathematician. That's what his degree is in.
Yeah, he grew up in the nearby suburb of Dolton, near the Indiana border. Went to college at Villanova. Mom, a librarian. Dad was in the Navy, fought in World War II. He's the first American Pope, the first North American Pope, and the first Pope to come from an English-speaking country in almost 900 years. So it's been a minute. He's from Chicago, spent about 2/3 of his life in Europe and Latin America, speaks 5 languages, including English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese. He can also read German and Latin.
Don't you feel stupid, like, saying that? It's like, holy cow.
People say that, hard to say what direction he's going to go in, but he was apparently friends with Pope Francis, so experts think he'll be somewhat progressive.
Yeah,
and
he was made a cardinal by Francis, wasn't he? And then ever since he was in Rome, he kind of kept a low profile, but well known to the people who matter, right?
Here is the reaction as he walked out onto the deck or whatever, the patio
there. It's got a bigger name than that.
Yeah, people... thousands, millions maybe of people there watching the whole Pope thing happen. The smoke came up, and then they waited, and then he appeared.
The thing that's good is people that know him really, really, really well, that are in his intimate circle, say that no matter how many problems he has or things that arise or whatever, he maintains good humor, and a sense of joy. So he's kind of that glass half full kind of person from the inside out, which is great.
Obviously, when you find out somebody is from Chicago, one of the first questions is whether or not he's a White Sox or a Cubs fan.
He was always a Sox fan. Our mother was a Cubs fan. I don't know, maybe that clued in there. And our dad was a Cardinals fan. So I don't know where that all came from.
That's his brother John talking about him being a White Sox fan, telling that to WGN News out of Chicago. Grew up on the South Side, rooting for the White Sox. Is that like that's got to, I mean, like, look, obviously he's been a part of the church for a long, long time, so the family's known that. But then all of a sudden,
your brother's the Pope.
I
know, that's what yeah.
What?
You're a priest and you're a cardinal.
Okay, that's nice. And yada, 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 yada. You travel around, you do cool stuff. But what do you mean you're the Pope? You're the Pope?
Do you have to call home first?
Yeah, do you have to let your mom, hey, Mom, can I take this job? Is that cool?
Or your siblings. I don't know if his mother's still, he's 69 years old, so I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, 2/3 majority or more yesterday in white smoke. I couldn't believe it. We talked about it yesterday morning, and I was at a meeting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like super quick.
I think it was the fourth vote, right? The fourth one?
Third, wasn't it? It was super quick.
It was either the third or fourth, because I know that they did, excuse me, a couple on Thursday, and then, yeah. But we got a new pope. Elsewhere, in Madison, the father of the girl who killed 2 people in the shooting at the Abundant Life Christian School has now been arrested and faces felony charges.
For what?
Jeffrey Ruppnow, arrested yesterday, facing charges of contributing to the delinquency of a child, 2 counts of providing a dangerous weapon to a person under 18, resulting in death.
So he had,
and we're going to see more and more of this,
yeah.
I think, going forward. This is the new tactic, if you will, to try to deal with all this gun violence in schools is, the kids are obviously going to get arrested and be in trouble.
She was unstable, or maybe you sensed it or something, and you had this around her, right?
Interim Police Chief John Patterson explaining during a news conference that 2 guns, magazines, and ammunition found at the school the day of the shooting. Only 1 gun was used by the shooter. Both were purchased legally at Dane County stores by Jeffrey Ruppnow. That's the father who has now been arrested. Police reported finding other weapons in the home during a search, including one that was intended to be gifted to the teen shooter, Natalie Samantha Ruppnow. Patterson said there was a gun safe in the home, but it did not stop the teen from having regular access through her father, and she may have seen him type the code in before, so she knew what the code was and was able to bypass whatever safety measures were there with the safe.
They confirmed they found a manifesto titled War Against Humanity. Fascination with school shootings and talked about it openly with people that she was talking to online. I mean, it wasn't like she was hiding any of that. She openly was talking about those kinds of things with people.
Meanwhile, in Virginia, there is a new law that is trying to limit kids' time on social media.
I don't know if I see it being effective, honestly. Kids are very clever at getting around these. And, I totally understand that, like, what are you going to do if you're a platform and a 12-year-old, 14-year-old signs up and says they're 25? Like, are you going to require ID from everyone who signs up for your platform? Probably not. If you take those platforms away, what they're going to do is find other platforms that are outside the bounds of what this law covers.
That is Jen Goldbeck, a professor at the University of Maryland, talking about the time limits. Parents in Virginia soon have a backup in their efforts to limit their kids' social media usage. A new law signed by the governor will restrict children under the age of 16 to just 1 hour of social media per day starting on January 1st. So you got a little bit of time before you get it. Good luck.
What?
This is so dumb.
I don't even understand how that's going to work. What is that? How? What? Tell me about that again. The law is going to tell them that they can't be on more than an hour a day? Is it going to shut off automatic? There's all sorts of programs like that.
The law requires social media platforms to implement commercially reasonable methods to verify users' ages. We've seen this with, in a different spectrum, porn websites, right? There's been states now that require you to have proper ID before you can go on porn websites in their state.
Stuff like that.
And so to try to limit children's access to this stuff. And so it sounds like it's going to be more about the social media platforms and their availability in the state of Virginia as opposed to, the parents trying to manage that.
So it's on them. They're going to say, okay.
If a user is under 16,
TikTok.
Their time on the site will be limited to 1 hour per day. Additionally, parents will have the authority to allow even less time if they want.
So TikTok's going to do that?
I guess. I don't know. Dude, I don't live in Virginia. I don't care. I'm reading the story here.
Ugh, I don't understand how that's going to work. Like,
well, and
they're
again,
gonna
like
say-
she said, what's going to stop a kid from saying I'm 25 when you sign up for the website?
Or multiple emails or,
Right.
or whatever your sign-in is. That's dumb.
In Greenfield, Wisconsin, an elementary school teacher has received the surprise of a lifetime, named one of Wisconsin's Teachers of the Year during a school assembly. Megan
yay.
Dixon taught second grade at Greenwood Elementary for 13 years, accepting the award, surrounded by her family, her colleagues, and her students. Big smile on her face. Obviously been maybe do some ugly girl crying there.
Yeah.
Students and teachers at the elementary school thought they were attending a regular assembly to celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week.
And then surprise.
Songs, dances, and a video thanking teachers. The room shifting, however, when the Wisconsin State Superintendent Jill Underly made an unexpected appearance, saying one of this year's Wisconsin Teachers of the Year is Miss Megan Dixon. Big award, and again, lots of smiles. Cheers, hugs, flowers, the whole 9 yards. Congratulations to her.
Nice.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to sports in a bit. What?
It's May, so those teachers, they're wrapping
getting
it
ready.
up.
They're getting ready.
They're doing all the things. They're doing the school assemblies and the plays and the musicals and the band concerts and the award ceremonies. And
They're getting ready.
They're doing it all.
Sports in a bit. Some White Stripes on the way as well. Right now, Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
The White Stripes with Seven Nation Army on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. As I told you, we found out last week when we were in Nashville that Jack White
Oh, yeah, he was there,
was
he?
at the Metallica show. And did you see that Metallica, much like Marshawn Lynch, ended up causing a movement on the Richter scale?
No, did they? Well,
At a
that
recent
happens.
concert?
That happens.
Yeah. I think it was, I want to say it was in Virginia.
That
Recently?
stuff is cool, and it also scares me. I always
Like
say
there was so much energy and power and people
Yes.
rocking out and so
Yes.
much sound and loudness that it showed up on the Richter scale.
Yeah, small earthquake. That's cool. So metal.
Very cool.
So cool.
It is metal.
Like,
hell yeah.
Very much like this. It's also like somewhere inside of me, there's a little bit of fear. when
Like
that
you think the
happens.
world's going to open up
I
and
don't
swallow you
know.
whole?
It's just like creating an earthquake because of 60,000 strong. Isn't that the deal? Collective energy kind of
Yep.
having a seismic reaction. That's metal. It's very metal.
Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Brew Crew off yesterday. They start a 3-game series in Tampa Bay tonight at 6:05. First of 3 against the Rays. NBA last night.
Minnesota Timberwolves come back with an answer and a response in game 2, and they win it 117-93.
117-93 final score. T-Wolves evening up that series with the Warriors, who, of course, were without Steph Curry. Probably going to be without him for the next week or so.
Tournament, you think? Or
Well, they're going to reevaluate in a week, so we'll see what happens with that MRI. But, yeah, the hamstring strain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, in the NHL last night.
Working past Eichel. McDavid holds. Draisaitl scores! McDavid and Draisaitl combine for the game winner. Edmonton wins it in overtime. And they have the 2-games-to-none advantage in the best of 7.
Yeah, nothing quite like overtime hockey in the playoffs. Washington tying up their series with Carolina at a game apiece thanks to a 3-1 win. And in a late game, Leon Draisaitl took a pass from Connor McDavid, scored off the rush. 15-20 of overtime, giving the Oilers a 5-4 win over the Vegas Golden Knights and a 2-0 series lead. In the NHL tonight, Toronto is at Florida. 6 p.m. on TNT. That's game 3 of that series with the Leafs up 2-0. Then you got Dallas at Winnipeg at 8:30 on TNT. The Stars are up 1-0. NBA tonight, Cleveland, Indiana, 6:30 on ESPN. Game 3 of that series. Pacers are up 2-0. Then you've got Oklahoma City Thunder at Denver, 9 p.m. That game also on ESPN. Game 3 of that series, which is tied up at a game apiece. Anaheim Ducks hiring Joel Quenneville as their new head coach. He's been out of the NHL since 2021 when he resigned as the Panthers head coach in the fallout from that Blackhawks scandal with the sexual assault and all that stuff. Yeah. So he's back behind the bench, though, in the NHL for the Anaheim Ducks after a couple of years off. Sports on Rock Mornings. We're going to get to music from in a bit from Ghost. And if you need something, you can find us online at rockmornings.com. Cordell said if people want their kids on technology less, then they should do how they were probably raised, where you don't get a phone or a tablet till you turn 16 and driving, because then at least the kid can make a phone call if they have car troubles. Look, people can parent their kids any way they freaking want. But
that's correct.
Yeah, I think the problem is that, this isn't just like an at-home thing. They're doing it at school. They're doing it everywhere.
That, I think, can be discussed and controlled from school district to school district, right? They can talk about how they want to. My kids didn't get them until they were 14. That was just a thing in our house. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what we did. But I know that schools are finding that it's, more and more challenging to have them actually pay attention and learn. So if there's a bell-to-bell policy, right, where they turn them in or something like that, and that's one thing, but I don't understand how the state is making platforms monitor the amount of time that the kids are on. That's what I don't understand. Virginia, look more into it.
Ghost coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Oh, you know who you are. You've been doing your daily action, putting lots of overtime. You need some time off satisfaction. Just think how tough it's been. You've been putting out all that labor. If you use your wit, you can get out quick and do yourself a favor. Friday in effect, and you're pretty beat, I bet. It's been one tough week, you've hit your peak, and you've earned your paycheck. But now this week is over, and it's a little fun you're seeking. Your grin is wide, and I know why. Look out, here come the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That weekend's gonna be a monster, y'all.
The weekend is here, and it's going to be gorgeous. We're looking at a high near 80 today. Lots of sunshine. Same thing tomorrow. And then moving up into the mid to upper 80s on Sunday and Monday. High temps near 90.
I saw that. That's something, huh?
Yeah, air conditioning is going on in my house. Central AC. Faux show. TV and movies this weekend. You've got Netflix today premiering the movie Nanas, starring Vince Vaughn as a guy who opens an Italian restaurant to honor his mother after she died. Hires a bunch of local grandmothers who cannot get along as chefs. The rival Nanas are played by Susan Sarandon, Lorraine Bracco, Talia Shire, and Brenda Vaccaro.
I'm going through my mom and Nona's recipes, and then I realized food is love. So I want to open an Italian restaurant. What are you, crazy? Who are you going to get to come down and cook? Nona's. Other real-life Italian grandmothers.
I am from Bologna. I spit on Bologna. Spit on Sicily, okay?
Nona's new movie on Netflix premiering today. Over on Hulu today, The Summer of 69, a comedy about an awkward high school senior who develops an unexpected friendship with an exotic dancer after hiring her to help teach her how to seduce her crush before graduation. So some lesbianic stuff going on there. Apple TV Plus today, the series premiere of Long Way Home. This is Ewan McGregor and his buddy Charlie Borman returning for another motorcycle series where they travel from Ewan's home in Scotland to Charlie's home in England. The long way around, going through 15 other countries. Also on Peacock today, the streaming premiere of Love Hurts. Oscar winner Ke Huy Quan plays a former hitman whose quiet life as a mild-mannered realtor is thrown into chaos after his brother's goons track him down. CBS tonight, the first season finale of Hollywood Squares. Over on HBO tonight, Real Time with Bill Maher. Tomorrow on Lifetime, the premiere of a 4-part documentary series called The Judd Family, Truth Be Told. So 2 episodes on Saturday night. The final 2 episodes will air on Sunday night. On NBC on Saturday Night Live, Walton Goggins will be your host. Arcade Fire will be the music guest. Sunday night on ABC, you've got a new episode of American Idol. Also on CBS on Sunday night, the 2nd season finale of Tracker. Sunday on HBO, a new episode of The Last of Us. Also on Sunday night on AMC, a new episode of Walking Dead, Dead City. Sunday night on CBS, the 1st season finale of Watson. And also on Sunday night on ABC, the 8th season finale of The $100,000 Pyramid. with Malin Ackerman taking on Tom Papa and Tori Spelling taking on Brian Austin Green. As far as movies are concerned this weekend, if you want to get out and check, not really. Not really. We're waiting until next week. Is it next week? The week after is Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible. But Juliet and Romeo, rated PG-13 in theaters this weekend. It's basically Romeo and Juliet. It's a musical version of the classic Shakespearean play.
I should properly introduce myself. I'm Romeo.
I knew that my heart would never beat the same.
Did you not see the look in her eyes? She's changed. It takes a mother to know.
Are you kidding me? A Montague and the Capulet would set the world on fire.
Yeah, the classic tragedy about the Montagues and Capulets, and it's a lot of singing.
So it's a more modern day kind of thing?
Well, they changed it from Romeo and Juliet to Juliet and Romeo, so yeah, you could just say it's a little more modern and, a lot of singing.
Oh, that's okay.
Can't do these singing
You don't
things.
like them? No,
Dude, I
right.
hate musicals. They're
okay.
dumb. Rupert Everett, Rebel Wilson played Juliet's parents. Jason Isaacs is Lord Montague. Rated R in theaters this weekend. Shadow Force.
Come on, Dad.
There isn't a distance you can travel or a hole dug deep enough where I can't reach you.
I can't help but feel a little flattered.
If you want to keep running all your life, a life that's getting shorter by the second.
We're being tracked.
Omar Sy and Kerry Washington leave a shady multinational special forces group after they have a son together, but Mark Strong, playing the bad guy, refuses to let them go, puts a bounty on their heads, and they decide to fight back and go to war with this multinational special forces group. It's called Shadow Force. It's rated R. Also rated R in theaters this weekend, Fight or Flight.
What am I doing here, Catherine?
We're tracking a high-value target.
The Ghost is a black hat terrorist.
Deliver the mark to us alive, you get your life back.
We have a big problem.
There isn't a country in the Western Hemisphere that doesn't have a bounty in the Ghost's head.
Are you telling me that plane is full of killers?
Rough night?
Josh Hartnett playing a mercenary who was sent by Katie Sackhoff to track down and protect a high-value asset known only as the Ghost aboard an international flight, but before he can figure out his target's identity, finds out that the plane is full of assassins trying to kill the Ghost. And he's got to pull his John Wick impersonation and kick ass all up and down the plane.
All right. I don't know how those movies try to stand out. That sounds like a plot of all the things, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well,
like all of a sudden you're like,
you're going to plot of something else. Not a lot of originality going on in Hollywood anymore, but so that's what's on TV and in theaters. If you want to pick up some new tunage, Arcade Fire, who are going to be the musical guests on SNL, they've got a new album coming out today called Pink Elephant, their 7th album. Counting Crows dropping a new one called...
No way.
Yeah, Butter Miracle, The Complete Sweets. It's their 8th album, so I don't know if that's a best of collection.
I had no idea.
Sleep Token, this is the one everybody that we know has been waiting for. It's called Even in Arcadia. It's their 4th album. And Gary Hoey, the legendary guitarist, he's got a new one called Avalanche, his 23rd album. One of his guests on that is Lita Ford. So there you go. That's what's on the boob tube and in theaters, and some new music if you want to pick it up. We'll be watching some wrestling tonight. Going to go see the River City Championship Wrestling, May Day. Yep, going to go check that out at the Royal Vingers, American Legion Post here in town.
Sweet.
And we got a bunch of errands to run tomorrow. I haven't decided yet about a fire pit. We don't have a fire pit anymore because the one that we had kind of fell apart. And this year I'm getting that stump dugout to do a permanent fire pit. So I don't know if I want to spend money on one at the store. You know what I mean?
One?
Yeah, like just a in between for now, but we'll see. Yeah. And then Mother's Day, obviously, mother-in-law coming over doing a little cookout.
What are you cooking?
It was so funny because my wife, yesterday I was like, so what's the deal? Is your mom, are we doing something for your mom? And she texted her and they figured, well, we'll come over and you guys can make dinner. And I said, let me guess, chicken.
Is that like a staple of the...
very health conscious.
Salmon? And maybe some salmon or some chicken?
Just plain old chicken breast. She just,
With some, what, a salad maybe?
Well, so I just make food that I want to eat, and she has to suffer. You know what I mean? Because, they eat a little more healthy than we do.
So it's some kale.
Especially my mother-in-law. No, I'm not cooking kale. No, that'll never happen.
Quinoa.
I'm not going to infect my kitchen with crap like that. No,
but
thank you.
You're having chicken on the grill. Is that what you're having?
Yeah, and I don't mind. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'll get her like a marinated chicken breast of some sort. But then for the rest of us, it'll be meat. Like cows and stuff like that.
Baby sheep.
Yeah. It was funny because for Easter,
yeah,
came over for the ham. Cutting off all the fat, a little pile over on the side of the plate. I'm just put the whole ham in there.
Mother's Day on Sunday, obviously.
Yep. We got a bunch of Mother's Day stuff to get to here in just a bit. Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us. We'll talk racing with Doc later on. Bad News, Happy Music is coming up as well. Right now, it is Metallica.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
This is definitely something that I would not do.
Is it go in the ocean?
That's one, but this is not that situation. This is a different situation. You want to take another stab at it?
Well, I know you'd go to space. Jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
I don't know about that one.
Well, you wouldn't go on an airplane, and then you'd have to jump.
Well,
so those
see,
are two
the
things.
thing about jumping out of an airplane is a little different than going on an airplane. Because typically when you jump out of an airplane, it's like...
That's the purpose?
Well, but you're on a small plane. There's not a lot of TSA. There's no TSA, let's be honest. You go to the skydive place.
You're paying
right,
to jump.
You're in a field somewhere with a little, the prop propeller plane, whatever. I mean, you're not jumping out of a 747, you know what I mean? So it's a little less stressful when it comes to the whole getting on the plane thing and then being stuck on there. At some point in my life, bucket list type thing, yeah, maybe, but that's not...
Is
not
this
something I dream of.
Carnival Tilt-A-Whirl thing? Is that what it is?
No. Hikers in the Czech Republic apparently found 2 boxes of buried treasure.
Did they really? Like, what was in it? Is this like the vault where there's nothing in it?
Do you know the end of this story? Because
I don't.
Well, I asked you. This is definitely something that I wouldn't do.
I don't know.
If I were to find 2 boxes of buried treasure in the woods,
they found the original owners.
Yeah, well, not the original, but they gave it back to the authorities. Because you're stupid.
No.
Because you're an idiot.
That's karma.
The world survived this long without the treasure being found.
What?
Dumb.
They turned it into authorities? Is that what happened?
Yeah, the boxes contained bracelets and other valuables along with nearly 600 gold coins. The total value was about $340,000. And they just turned it over to a museum. But the feeling you get is worth so much more than the money.
So how long do they think it was there? Or do they have any
hikers strolling in the foothills of some mountains in February near the Czech border with Poland? They discovered a small aluminum can hidden in the crevice of a wall that contained nearly 600 gold coins wrapped in fabric. Just feet away, discovered a box containing cigarette cases, a comb, bracelets, a chain.
Oh my gosh, this has been there for a long time.
And all sorts of other items made of gold. All in all, the 15 pounds of items, roughly around $340,000 American dollars, items handed over to the Museum of East Bohemia, which after examining the dates on the coins, determined that the stash was hidden no earlier than 1921. So it's 100 years old.
Holy cow.
The coins themselves were dated between 1808 and 1915, hailing from far-reaching corners of Europe, including France, Turkey, Belgium, Romania, Italy, Russia, and Austria.
Wow, that's crazy. So they just put this stuff in the woods and hoped somebody would find it someday?
They don't really know why they were hidden, but the museum's experts logically note that the coins' dates align with the region's political upheaval during World War II. So this might be
somebody was on the run.
Well, what's that movie with the paintings and the German Nazis and all that stuff? Yeah, and they go over and they get all the riches and they try to hide them from the Nazis because they were
taking them and destroying them.
Right, and then they were using the money to fuel the war machine, all that stuff. So maybe that was something along those lines.
So these people maybe took off and buried their stuff because they were like, it's better buried here than it is getting destroyed, and I'll come back for it sometime, and then never came back.
Yeah, well, got probably killed by the Nazis.
Oh my gosh.
Head of the archaeological department at the Museum of Eastern Bohemia said the list of potential reasons reasons for which it was likely buried is fairly clear. It was the beginning of the war, the deportation of the Czech and Jewish populations, then the deportation of the Germans after the war. So there are several possibilities. There's also a monetary reform, which could have been a reason. So, like, they're changing things with the money in the banks and all. So you're like, it's like people putting, gold bars, when the economy's in tough times and they say, I got to stash these in my backyard. The museum is going to put it all on display. However, the honest hikers will not walk away empty-handed. They'll be given a finder's fee of 10%. What's 10% of $340,000?
Dude, you can't take that
Yes,
when you
can.
hear that whole story about that.
Don't care.
Yes, you do.
No.
That's awful. It's
I told
historic.
you. What did I
and
just say yesterday? I am not a good person.
It's historic, and it belonged to somebody, and it has this long...
And it's been out here for 100 years. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
No.
It's like one of the
would
first-
haunt you. There'd be like
Wouldn't haunt
ghosts
me in the
and
least.
bad
The only thing that
mojos.
would haunt me, fine, I'm
And
okay
vibes
with that.
and
I'll
like,
get haunted on my yacht.
ugh.
I'll get haunted on my yacht, my haunted yacht. That'd
No,
be
you
real tough
wouldn't.
living. Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I am not returning 2 boxes full of treasure and 600 gold coins worth $340,000 to get 10%. No, thank you.
Yes, you would.
No, I would not.
Those are some
I would
haunt-
not.
those
No, I would not.
mojos will go with you for the
Fine
rest
with
of
me.
time.
What did I tell you about my biggest regret? Was not stealing that money that my dad left in the house.
I can't talk to you.
I told you. I saw the money. I knew it was there, and I didn't take it. I didn't go back for it. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. It's one of the first things you learn as a kid.
I understand that, but
If
this has this
if you
whole
bring
thing-
a candy bar to
this is-
school and you leave it in the lunchroom,
If you
it's
found a
no longer yours.
100-year-old buried treasure that probably has ties to a family that was victimized and had to leave because of the Nazis, you
All
would...
right, listen, if I found some Nazi stuff, I'm turning it in, okay? If I find someone's gold teeth and shoes and all that crap,
Yeah.
Okay, but like,
money?
if I find 600 gold coins in a bag, a fabric bag out in the woods, no, that is not getting returned to a museum. You guys can have the bracelets and the box with the cigarette cases and stuff. I'll take the coins. I didn't find anything else. This is all I found. Here you go. I don't even need the 10%. I'm good. You guys keep it. You obviously need it more than I do, Mr. Museum Guy. No effing way am I returning all that stuff. No way in hell. Dude, you got one
Where
life.
are you taking it?
Going wherever I can go to get cash for it. Wherever
you're just
I
gonna
black
pawn
market.
it?
Where's the
and
black
they're gonna
market?
go, hey, where'd you find this?
Where's
And
the
you're
black market? Where does it start? Because I'll start there.
100-year-old thing. Where'd you get this? Super
Dark side of
rare.
the
Don't
internet.
even make this kind of money anymore.
No,
this
dark
should be
side
in
of
a
the internet.
museum. Thanks. What can I get cash
Like the
for?
museums are hard up for stuff. Have you ever been to a museum? It is overwhelming, the crap that's in a museum. I just spent hours at a museum. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They got plenty of stuff. They don't need any more. They don't need any more. They got plenty of Elvis and Michael Jackson stuff. They don't need any more. They're doing all right. People are, oh, look, 600 coins. Gee, if those, maybe we cash those in and use them for good as opposed to just putting them on display.
Money that isn't even money anymore. You just said it was an kind of not a...
Yeah, but someone is willing to buy it and melt it down and do something with it. I don't care. I just want to get my cut of it, my take. I found it, and now I want to be on a yacht.
No. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. You already said that. This is Friday, right? This is like the last day of the week
Yeah.
for this show, right?
I dream about that. That's like the only reason to go hiking. Is in the
It's
hope.
not the only reason
It's like
to
the
go
hope,
hiking.
It is the hope that you find something in the woods that is valuable that you don't have to tell anybody about, and you get to get rich off it.
Yeah, like morel mushrooms that I was just asking you about this morning. How about that? That's a reason to go
Are you
hiking.
going to turn those into the museum?
No, I'm going to fry them up in butter and
All
eat
right,
them.
then you're no better than I am.
What are you talking about?
You're no better than I am. You're not turning them in. You're not giving them away.
Turn them in. I can
Are you,
sell them.
Are you
They're
cooking
like
food for
$50
poor
a
people with
pound.
your morel mushrooms?
Come
Are you cooking
on.
for the
only
homeless?
reason to go hiking.
That's the only is to find some rich ass stuff in the
Buried
woods.
treasure. Get
Yep.
out of here.
Hell yeah. Turning it in. Jesus. Then what? You live once. You might as well make the most of it.
They got 10%. And they aren't haunted.
What the hell is 10% of 340? Is that like $3,400 bucks?
Yes.
Wow.
It's like $3,400.
I can pay my mortgage for 2 months. That's
and they're
great.
not haunted.
I don't
Most
care about
importantly.
haunting. As long as it ain't the Ark of the Covenant that melts your face when you open it up.
See?
Even that I'm trying to sell. But
Or
I'm not
the
opening it.
Pinhead? Maybe he
you don't. All you gotta do is not touch the box. Just don't open it. You can sell it. You just don't open the
Take
box.
the bag and go
That's
like
the
this
problem
and
with you don't watch these movies well enough. You don't watch them. The problem is all these things that are haunted. You have to like do something in order to get the haunting. If you're just selling it, you're just a middleman.
No. You dug it up. You found it.
Didn't dig it up. Found it in a crevice. They were just walking around and saw it. They weren't digging up. They weren't excavating. They're not archaeologists. Found it in the woods, just walking around. Got their special boots on, hiking backpack, all that crap. The thousands of dollars you got to spend to do it right.
And then they found the thing.
Yeah. And then they, like idiots, cashed it in at the museum instead of making money.
Good people.
Idiots.
Those are my people.
Well, you go live in Czechoslovakia with them. I'll stay here in America where it's get rich or die trying. Mother's Day stuff coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
And now, a mom ponders Mother's Day.
Another Mother's Day. I can't wait to see what dummy gets me this year. Last year, he told me he got me something to make my life easier. It was a new vacuum cleaner. I told him maid service would be the gift, but we can't afford it because dummy loses so much money online betting. He couldn't pick a winner if he tried. I know the feeling. I married him. Who's the dummy now? Happy Mother's Day.
It's Sunday. It's Mother's Day. And don't forget to buy mom something nice. Lots of people go with the gift route, even in something like flowers, a card, a meal.
Yes.
The National Retail Federation, the NRF for short, says consumer spending on Mother's Day expected to reach $34.1 billion with a B this year, which is a notch up from $33.5 billion last year, but down a bit from the record of $35.7 billion in 2023. We're hoovering. What does that mean for a random person? On average, people are planning to spend about $259 on Mother's Day gifts and celebrations, about $5 more than they budgeted for last year. You think you're getting $260 worth of stuff?
No.
What does your power washer go? That's got to be like $180, right?
That was a few years ago. I have it. Now, I asked for some new bath towels. I did. They're in really crappy condition. They're all bleached and worn and stuff. So I asked for some new bath towels, and I have a anklet that's busted.
That needs to get fixed or just replaced?
I'd like to get it. I'd like to take it to a jeweler and get it fixed.
Sentimental value type thing? Okay. All right. Well, that sounds about like $30 worth of stuff.
Yeah. And some food.
All right. The NRF says thoughtful gifts are very popular. 48% of people want to give a gift that's unique or different.
Would love that.
42% want a gift that creates a special memory. 36% of men are looking to give gift experiences. A new list of the trending Mom Day activities, including crafts and cooking classes, going to a show, wine tastings. Moms online suggesting that you should keep it simple, like going on a peaceful, no complaints hike.
Love that.
To find treasure in the forest, and then return it to the museum like an idiot. You can also go sightseeing, go to a park, plan a picnic, make a memory, do something different and unexpected, like offering to participate in one of her hobbies.
Oh my God!
Like power washing the fence.
Yeah, put some bark mulch down, kids.
What is your do you have a hobby? Because you just do stuff, but I don't know if it's your hobbies. I mean, like, you're crazy and you do too much and you stress about everything. But do you have like a hobby, like something that you consider your own, like a?
No, I mean, I like to garden and get my stuff ready.
That could
and do
be a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't think you look at it as a hobby though. It's like part of your.
It's a task. You mean
Is job or chores or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how much you take some joy from the finished product.
I do.
But are you taking joy through the process?
From cooking.
Okay.
Like,
and then eating it.
Looking for the recipe, figuring it out, trying new things. I don't know if I have a lot of hobbies, though.
One report online found Americans might spend less on gifts this year because their budget is a little tighter. Yeah. In a recent survey, mothers say they trade gifts for free time. That means both family time and personal time where they can enjoy some downtime from their busy mom life. We've said. Give mom the day off to enjoy a nap. Take care of the meals and the kids for the day. Let mom enjoy sipping on some lemonade with a book and her favorite streaming content. Personal time to pamper herself, put her feet up, that kind of stuff.
Sentimental.
Yeah.
Versus monetary.
Top trending Mother's Day activities for 2025. Google Trends, looking at some of the stuff people are Googling.
Is everybody doing brunch? Is that a mimosa brunch thing? Is that what's happening?
All the restaurants do it, pretty much so. But pottery classes. They want to get Ghost. They want to get Patrick Swayze behind them.
like we all go paint it together? Or?
I think it's, like, I mean, especially if you have young kids and there's, you know, like a coffee
That's fun.
mug and
That's
a
fun.
painting. And But I think it's more of like a class rather than like a,
Oh,
you know, where you learn to actually do pottery. Cooking classes. Second on the list of the top trending Mother's Day activities for 2025. Brunch, number 3. Pottery painting. Boy, chicks dig pottery. What's your deal? What's wrong with you?
I don't.
Did you sign up for that and when you got your woman card? Like
pottery?
Like I must love pottery? Is that like a stamp they put on you? All right.
I mean, I look for antique Crocs when I go like to estate sales and stuff, but I'm not making pottery.
Again, top trending Mother's Day activities for 2025. Broadway shows. Perfume making classes.
Dude, that comes made in a bottle.
Movies, wine tastings, craft classes, and paint and sip. Those are the top trending Mother's Day
enough
activities.
for any of that stuff.
Mother's Day is on Sunday.
Sunday is Mother's Day. Families from around the country celebrate Mom. Don't miss the homemade breakfast by kids, the spilling, the burnt pancakes, the undercooked eggs. Mother's Day, Sunday. See moms in restaurants waiting for a table on the busiest day of the year. And don't forget about flower deliveries. $5 worth of flowers for $75. Mother's Day cards drawn by 4-year-olds. Phone calls from grown kids from out of state asking for money. And don't miss the dad's worthless attempt at household chores. Remember to say, I love you. Mother's Day, Sunday.
Yeah.
Another new poll asking people about their family life growing up. The people who had both a mom and a dad at home. 52% of them said the mom was the most involved in their daily activities. 32% said both parents equally. And 7%, a measly 7% of people in this survey about their family life growing up said it was mainly their dad that was most involved in their daily activities. I was school, kid. All right, that's great. Let's go.
What's your teacher's name? What bus do you get on?
What time do we got to get the kids?
That's
they're
my
still
favorite comedy skit where they're like, the school called me and said, "Where?" They're like,
Well,
"Why would you call me?"
there. Yesterday, with the when we were talking to the lady with the husband who's a teacher, and they had the kids in his own class and sending emails. She's like, I don't read the emails. 77% of people in this poll said the mother was the most involved in housework. 14% said both parents equally, and then 3% said it was mainly the father. But do they take into account, like, you know, working on the cars, mowing the lawn, doing the outdoor stuff, cleaning the gutters, or are they just looking at, like, dishes and laundry?
I don't know. You have to ask the kiddos.
44% of people in this survey said they were closer to their mom. 36% said they were equally close with both parents.
That's cool. I like that.
14% say they were tighter with their dad. Poor dad's getting kicked in the dick, left and right.
They're not.
Did you hear the numbers?
I did hear the numbers.
The poll also asking people if they've ever argued with their mother-in-law, and 68% of people said no. Only 28% of people say they have battled with their mother-in-law.
Have you battled with your mother-in-law?
No.
I wouldn't go down that. I wouldn't do that.
No, we don't disagree on anything.
There's nothing
really
to battle with her about?
No. There was only one time really with like her dad and I that like, and it was my mistake. I made a mistake and he called me on it and I won't do it again.
Okay.
But it wasn't anything like that big or
a fight
impactful.
or anything.
It wasn't
like,
a fight. No. And he's, yes, sir. I would not put me over his knee kind of thing, Mother's Day on Sunday. Don't forget to get mom something nice.
Now I thought I'd share some of my favorite mom quotes, tweets from you guys. Here we go. This first one's from @Fan Pyrie. She says, when I passed my classes, mom responded with WTF. She thought that meant, well, that's fantastic. This one's from @Sakshi305. She says, I asked my mom who she likes more between my brother and me. She said, I'm not crazy about either one of them. Nice. Being honest. Yeah. Real talk. This one's from @Lena N. Babiker. She says, my mom once asked me to close the patio door because I was letting the Wi-Fi out. No, that's not how it works, Mom. Oh, this one's from @Clapton Keys. She said, when I showed my mom a picture of my college crush, she said, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. This last one is from @PaigeRocks97. She says, Mom told me to walk home after a party. I said, what if I get kidnapped? And she said, trust me, they'll bring you back.
Oh, Mom.
I love it. I love it. Realistic.
Got a text from Jake, said, what the F are antique Crocs? She's not talking about the slip-on flip-flop things.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
a baking dish.
No, like the big pot, like the Red Wing ones, and they're like...
Like a spittoon?
Nope.
Like a flower pot?
That's probably what you're thinking of. They're like I'm sure they were used...
For other things?
For other things way back, like this. Like a...
Oh, yeah, you put your sugar in it.
No, but like gallons, like big ones.
The old milk jugs. They're like old milk jugs.
Antique gallon.
It's like think of like a butter churner, but
they were probably used for like
you store your dried goods in it. They put their oats in it.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. So because
30 gallons.
Well, back in the day, they didn't just go to the store and buy oats. You just got a shipment of oats, and you had to put them in this big giant thing with a scoop. Yeah. And that was how you ate oats. So, Jake, that's what an antique crock is.
Like a stoneware.
Do you have any? Or
I have a couple of them.
All right. How many is enough? When are you reaching maximum density?
I have 3. That might be enough.
That's plenty. You don't need any antique crocks. You've had enough. Shut her down.
I have 2 that I bought at estate sales and 1 my mom gave me.
Thanks for the text, Jake.
Like a Red Wing thing, Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like a...
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to sports after Volbeat.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
The Brewers were off yesterday. They're in Tampa Bay tonight. 6:05 first pitch for the first of 3 against the Rays. T-Wolves evening up their series with the Warriors last night thanks to a 117-93 win. NBA tonight, Cleveland, Indiana, 6:30, game 3 of that series. Pacers up 2-0. And then the third game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Denver Nuggets at 9 p.m. Series tied up at a game apiece. NHL last night. Capitals tying up the series against the Carolina Hurricanes at 1-1 thanks to a 3-1 win. And the Edmonton Oilers got a nice overtime goal from Leon Draisaitl for the 5-4 overtime victory against the Vegas Golden Knights. 2-0 series lead for Edmonton. On the ice tonight, Toronto, Florida, TNT at 6 p.m. Game 3 of that series. Maple Leafs up 2-0. Then you got Dallas at Winnipeg at 8:30 on TNT. That series Stars are up 1-0. Former Boston Celtics great Paul Pierce learning a valuable lesson earlier this week.
What happened?
You've probably heard people say, if so-and-so loses this series, I'll eat my hat.
Yes.
Well, he didn't say he was going to eat his hat.
What did he say?
He said he was going to walk 20 miles barefoot from his home to the studio where they record his show in his bathrobe if the Celtics lost to the Knicks in Game 2. And what happened?
They lost.
They lost in Game 2.
They sure did.
Paul Pierce paying the price on yesterday, as he walked 20 miles to the FS1 studio after his Celtics prediction backfired in horrific fashion. Pierce getting himself into a little bit of trouble during an appearance on FS1 on Wednesday while talking about the Celtics series against the Knicks. Pierce making a bold declaration saying, if the Celtics lose Game 2 at home, I promise you, I'm walking here tomorrow. I'm walking here 15 miles. I'm walking here in my robe, no shoes on, bare feet.
Then he did
if the Celtics lose.
That he did it?
And he did it, and he live tweeted it. Now, he didn't stay live with the video for the 20 miles.
I was going to say, that's boring.
He could have maybe gotten picked up by a car and transported a few miles down the road. But there were several updates along the way. Paul Pierce capturing video of himself leaving his house at about 5 a.m., telling fans he would check in with them later. And yes, he was wearing his robe, following up multiple times with fans as he walked to the studio. And just like he did in 2008 when he came out of the tunnel in the wheelchair, he showed up at the FS1 studio in a wheelchair. It's pretty funny. The Pittsburgh Pirates fan who fell 21 feet onto the warning track at PNC Park during the game on April 30th against the Cubs, giving an update on his condition for the first time in his own words earlier this week. Interview with the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Yes.
20-year-old Kevin Markwood describing his injuries as broken everything after he tumbled over the railing in right field while celebrating Andrew McCutcheon's go-ahead double. He says, I'm all right. I can't really sleep. I have a lot of back pain. He's been in the hospital for over a week as he recovers from injuries to his back and neck. took his first steps on Monday, said he's grateful for the support. There's a GoFundMe that's raising money for his medical bills. It's over $53,000
So he's
right now.
alert and talking and making sense and doing all the same. It's just a lot of physical rehab.
And last but not least, Kentucky Derby winning jockey Junior Alvarado.
Tell me about it. What?
May have won the race, but he's going to have to pay a fine, $31,000, after he used his whip more than 6 times on Sovereignty, who beat out journalism.
There's a
whip minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It was a max.
Determined by race officials that Alvarado used his whip more than 6 times, which is apparently a violation of the rules. The Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority.
I don't like that.
Rulebook states that a rider can whip a horse fewer than 6 times and in increments of no more than 2 strikes before allowing horse to respond for at least 2 strides. So you can go ta-ta-ta-ta, and then they got to take at least 2 strides, and you can hit him twice again, but you can't go over 6. And apparently he went over 6. I mean, it is only a 2-minute race there, so
yes.
How much you got to whip that horse?
$3.1 million worth, I guess.
I'm sure that he'll be okay.
The purse was, I think.
$31,000, he'll probably be all right.
Yeah, well.
Just go hiking, find some gold coins, and then you're good. You're set for life.
Can we just break for the weekend?
We are breaking for the weekend.
God.
New music from Sleep Token in stores today. We'll hear from that album next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
So you bought your mom a card, a bouquet of flowers from the grocery store, and lunch at Outback. Way to phone it in. She must be so proud to have you as her kid. Way to go, hotshot. Way to go.
Mother's Day on Sunday, and some of the most inspirational moms in movies. Ranker.com putting together a list of the most inspirational moms in movies. Do you want to take a stab at numero uno?
I have no idea. Mother Mary.
No. Holly Hunter.
In
Elastigirl in The Incredibles. From 2004.
Well, that's just fun. She's
supportive, loving mom.
Yeah, and they're all superheroes. Yeah.
But yeah, Holly Hunter is number 1, according to Ranker.com, from The Incredibles, Elastigirl. Number 2 on the list of the most inspirational moms in movies is Julie Walters as Molly Weasley in the Harry Potter films. Loved her kids, her own kids. Even Harry Potter shows up and forcing him to eat.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't even...
No?
Mm-mm. I mean, I wouldn't even think of that.
You're cold-hearted.
No, I just wouldn't even... That wouldn't even come up. I'm thinking of like...
You're hangry, right? You're hangry. You are like, you got to get some breakfast inside of you right now. You just... Hangry. Well, again, we're talking about generations worth of movies here, so this one, no surprise to me.
Sarah Connor, is she on there?
She is on there. We'll get to her. Yeah, well, she
I get that.
Think of what she had to do.
Everything to protect her son.
But number 3, Sally Field as Miss. She makes a list a couple of times, by the way. Sally Field is Mrs. Gump in Forrest Gump.
We're talking about 5 little points here. There must be something can be done.
Oh, she did it. Slept with that guy just to get her kid into a regular ass class. Most inspirational moms in films ranked by Ranker.com. Sally Field as Mrs. Gump and Forrest Gump at number 3. Julie Andrews as Fraulein Maria in The Sound of Music. Taught her kids to sing on a mountain?
Mm-hmm. Well, and run. Survive.
But all the singing. You all right?
Yeah, no.
And you are a problem today.
I am. I gotta stand up. I do.
Yeah,
okay.
I get it. I don't have a connection with the film, but yeah, obviously running and hiding from the Nazis is as a mom is probably, that's a hell of an undertaking right there. Inspirational moms in movies ranked by Ranker.com.
Mm-hmm.
Verna Felton, who played Mrs. Jumbo in Dumbo from 1941. You don't care.
I do care, but that
You're like,
again,
I just
I'm not
want my
thinking about
brekkie.
that.
I want my brekkie so bad.
No,
Mama
I'm
want
just
brekkie.
thinking that wouldn't think of that again. It wouldn't come to mind.
As you did mention a few moments ago, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor in The Terminator, surviving time after time after time and teaching her son John about the apocalypse.
Well, the future's what's to come and how to stay safe.
how to train and how to stay alive and all the things he needed to know. All the while,
that I get.
You know, he doesn't believe her. He's a kid. He's a disillusioned teenager until the Terminator, the T-1000, shows up and he's like, oh, snap, my mom was right. We got to go break her ass out of jail. Sarah Connor in the Terminator. Then we've got some movies that I'm not too familiar with. I don't really remember watching.
Mamma Mia, is it on there?
What is it with you in this ABBA movie? Is it just because it says Mamma Mia in it?
No, I just can't believe it's not on there.
Susan Sarandon as Marmee March in the 94 version of Little Women. Never saw it.
Okay.
These are the most inspirational moms in movies, according to Ranker.com. Number 8, Sally Field again in Steel Magnolias.
Yep.
Sandra Bullock as the woman from The Blind Side. It's kind of hard to put her on the list, though, because we found out that's not really true, is it?
It ruined everything for me when I found that out. So they didn't really, adopt him. And
well, you expect them to Disney-fy the movie, right? To take the story and make it a little bit better.
That part I get.
But it sounds
fluffery. It sounds like they took his money.
Completely lied. They completely, told everyone a farce. Next up is, this one should be higher on the list. Number 10, Paula Winslow as Bambi's mom in Bambi.
It's a very short role.
We made it, Mother.
Well, you made it, but Mom didn't because she took the bullet for you.
It was small.
Most inspirational moms in movies, ranked by Ranker.com. Angelica Houston as Morticia Addams in the Addams Family films. This one's weird because if you know anything about the movie, Sigourney Weaver gives birth to the actual alien. But I think they're thinking of Sigourney Weaver from... it's weird because she was later in the film you find out she was a mom and had a kid, but it's strange because in the second one, the kid that she finds is not her own kid. It's just this girl who's on the planet and she rescues her. But it's weird.
Get away from her, you bitch!
But she is a badass and she does beat the crap out of that alien, sends his ass into outer space.
To protect.
But she's not really a mom.
How about
Julia Roberts as Erin Brockovich in Erin Brockovich?
I wondered about that. How about Home Alone, where you forget your kid?
She doesn't make this list. Diane Keaton as Nina Banks in Father of the Bride from 91, then Susan Sarandon in Stepmom from 98. So those are the most inspirational moms in movies, according to Ranker.com. The meanest and nastiest moms in films. I got to be honest, somebody messed up with this list. Number 1 should be Piper Laurie as the mom in Carrie.
I can see your dirty pillows. Everyone will.
Breasts, Mama.
Breasts, Mama. They're called breasts.
Yes, that's scary.
She's got to be up higher
Mommy
than 7.
Dearest, though?
She's only 7 on the list. So Mommy Dearest, Faye Dunaway comes in at number 3.
I would imagine.
Allison Janney, who is the mom in I, Tonya, which is, the Take Out a Knee. That came out in 2017. That's number 2. Angela Lansbury in The Manchurian Candidate. She played Eleanor Iselin in The Manchurian Candidate. That's number 1 of the meanest and nastiest movie moms, according to some ranking online. You've got the evil queen / old hag from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from back in 1937. Right? You put your daughter to sleep.
Yeah.
Is that the deal? Send her out in the woods.
I didn't know they were...
Anne Ramsey,
related.
who was, of course, the mom in Goonies. The Fratelli, the mother. She was also the mom in Throw Mama from the Train. That's where she gets her ranking from.
Got it.
Number 6 is Margaret Wycherley from White Heat in 1949. Never saw it. Then you got Piper Laurie from the movie Carrie. This one, too, should be higher.
Is this more horror movies?
This is Monique in the movie Precious, starring Gabby Sidibe. And she, if you ever watch it, it's haunting. It is a haunt. And I've watched a lot of films, but the way they treat that girl in that movie is haunting.
Now smile about that. Smile about that, you fat bitch.
Ugh.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Can't even.
Beat her daughter. Just
Can't even.
endlessly beating her daughter. The boyfriend raping the daughter. And it's awful.
There's nothing really good about that other than the award-winning acting, but it's terrible.
Monique in Precious comes in at number 8. Betty Davis as Regina Giddens in The Little Foxes. The Meanest and Nastiest Movie Moms. Anne Bancroft as Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
Huh?
I don't know.
Aren't you?
Not my list. I'm just reading the names.
Got it.
Number 15 on the list is Carol Baker, who played Eleanor Crisp in Kindergarten Cop. Ran over Arnold's partner with her car.
You're not so tough without your car, are you?
Give me my grandson. She was pretty badass. But yeah, the most inspirational moms in movies and the meanest and nastiest movie moms.
Isn't the Friday the 13th where she comes and kills some of the
Betsy
kids?
Palmer?
Yeah.
Well, that was revenge, though. They didn't look after her kid. He was a special boy, and he couldn't swim, and they were too busy making love, so she came back and got revenge.
Okay, so...
I don't know if that's mean. She loved her kid.
She wasn't mean to him.
Well, she sent him to summer camp, hoping he was going to learn to swim and do archery and make crafts.
And then he died, and so she had to kill everybody else?
And then they drowned his ass in the lake.
Well, he drowned. They didn't do it.
Well,
they weren't watching. I know. They weren't watching.
And she got retribution for her poor son.
She sure did.
Which is what every mom should do.
Yes. With a big machete.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mother's Day on Sunday. Celebrate it. Watch some Mother's Day. Manchurian Candy. Weird.
Dude, way beyond me.
Brenda says, give her a Snickers. Apparently, you're not you when you're hungry. You got to give you a
fine.
You took a half hour to figure out what the hell you want to eat for breakfast. It's breakfast. There's like 7 items. It's like going to Mexican food. You just put them all together in some shape or form.
I just picked something, okay? I DoorDashed. We'll see if it even shows up.
You know, I could have just texted a guy.
Yeah.
And it would have been here already, but you had to DoorDash it.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Weekdays, actually Fridays, during the NASCAR season at about 8:15, we are joined on the phone by the Mid-Pack legend, Mr. Technicality, Car 54, Billy Doc Niles, a.k.a. Captain Retirement, a.k.a. hashtag Mr. Fister, a.k.a. hashtag this guy.
Happy July.
It's like 2 months from now.
4th of July.
Work on it. Hashtag this guy.
I'm kind of anal.
That's what all the guys at the campground say. Hashtag this guy.
He's got it locked on the rock. He's listening to the doc.
Hashtag this guy.
You're getting a thrill by listening to Bill.
I think she's getting a thrill from that sandwich she's eating right now. Hashtag this guy.
He gets to stay on the box.
Hell yeah, he does. Hashtag this guy.
He's going to have to come from the back.
It's the only way to come from. Hashtag this guy.
Going to be a big one for them.
That's what she said. Hashtag this guy.
He could be coming from your backyard.
Coming from all the backs. Hashtag this guy.
A lot of beating and banging.
Sounds like a good weekend at Doc's house. Hashtag this guy.
Nothing says you can't slip one in without saying anything.
Sneaky Pete. Hashtag this guy.
First day with the new tongue.
He's still learning. Hashtag this guy.
God damn, I'm going too fast.
Hashtag this guy.
Whoa, what am I touching here?
Whoa, what are you touching here, Doc? What do you got your hands on?
Doc?
Where did he go?
I don't know. He's there. We were talking.
Doc?
Hello.
There he is.
Hello.
I got you. I was on the wrong pot.
What were you touching?
Oh, so that was on you. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on my bottle of Dubliner tonight.
Yeah, you're going to be...
Whiskey out of the bottle will be yummy.
Hanging out at the campground?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gene was just asking me off air, do you never not camp during the summer? Like, well, yeah, there are concerts coming up, and like next weekend we're going to be doing a cancer benefit. I'll tell you more about that next weekend because there's a lot going on next Saturday. You can get to everything. It's possible, but we'll talk more about that next week. But it's a fun summer. I mean, when I got nothing to do, I really enjoy relaxing out at the camp.
Well, you got beautiful weather for it this weekend, and make sure that you let Mrs. Doc put her feet up and get her something nice to celebrate Mother's Day.
Mrs. Doc, it's always Mother's Day with Mrs. Doc. All she needs is a glass of wine.
Well, Doc, NASCAR racing, what's going on this weekend?
Okay, so the big story this week for NASCAR is after 5 years of, including this year, running the championship race at Phoenix, NASCAR announced this week that they're going to be moving the championship race back to Homestead Miami Speedway in 2026. A lot of people have been chirping about that, especially those over, live on our side of the country here. A lot of people like to go to Miami for that last race, and so NASCAR finally caved and decided they're going to do that next year. And Miami and Phoenix are going to be part of a rotating championship race format from now on. So I don't know what the other tracks are included. You never know. You might see Las Vegas in there, maybe Texas, maybe Charlotte. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But that was a big announcement for them that next year it's going back to Miami. So for 1 year, the Miami race was nowhere on the playoff schedule. Now it's back in. As far as big news in our area, this came out last Thursday. Elko Speedway has been sold to a company called Mega Properties, a coalition of accomplished business leaders, investors, and consultants. It's called Mega. Make Elko Great Again is what that stands for. So that's going to be neat to see what those guys do with that. Now back on to NASCAR there this week at the Kansas Speedway, 1.5-mile D-shaped oval, the cookie cutter, like we talk about, everybody who tries to look like Atlanta and Charlotte. Variable degree banking, 17 to 20 degrees. Kevin Harvick has a qualifying record set in 2014 at 197.6 miles an hour. Kyle Larson won this race last year, if you remember. Closest finish in NASCAR history, .001, as he just barely edged out Chris Buescher. Ross Chastain won the chase race back in October, which was inconsequential because he wasn't in the chase. Fantasy experts, they like Larson, Byron, and Blaney. Excuse me, when I filled mine out last night, Hamlin, Wallace, Logano, and Reddick are some names you look at when you want to do a top 10 fantasy list. VegasInsider.com via the BetMGM app brings us our odds this week. Larson at plus 375, Blaney at plus 650, Reddick at plus 725, Hamlin and Byron at 825, and Bell at 1,000. Finally, after 4 straight rainouts, Red Cedar Speedway will get their 52nd season opener in tonight.
Okay.
Yes, I know. They've been trying for 4 weeks. Finally, they get one in. Now, last week, Gino, we talked about all college student with their current valid ID would have been admitted free last week. They rolled that over to this week. Also, for the moms, as soon as the gates open at 5 o'clock tonight, cheese and wine tasting. Plus, they'll be having gift basket drawings for all the moms in the stands tonight. So, Gene, that's right up your alley. Maybe you want to take a ride up there. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. You still there, Doc?
Did we lose him?
I think we did. He went camping early. He's like, I'm out.
You were talking about wine tasting, and all of a sudden
wine
you got
and
all
cheese
flustered.
and racing, and he'd there he went.
Doc's Racing Report.
Every Friday
at about 8:15. Maybe he's trying to reconnect. We'll give him a minute here, see if he gets reconnected. Going camping, no surprise. I know he wanted to talk about that benefit, too. That's coming up next week.
I think he's talking about that next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Racing action, though, at all the local speedways. It's time. It's warm and nice and sunny and dry, finally.
Let's get some text here real quick while we see if Doc's trying to reconnect.
Okay.
Somebody just texted in, breaking news, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, is reportedly banned from UNC's football facility. Pablo Torre, apparently, with that one. One
Really?
Belichick family source adds, this is a deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be, not just for Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades. Yeah. You saw this. I saw this coming. I mean, she's just not good for this whole situation. Well, there's so much more that's come out in the last week that you haven't even, like the weaseling her way into the commercial during the Super Bowl and wanting executive producer credits and all this other. It's not good. Chris sending in a picture of standard equipment on all Huey helicopters, and there's a button that says on or off, on or on, and it's Fortunate Son. Which, again, was what I was joking about, that, in the movie Predator, they didn't use Fortunate Son in the helicopter scene. They used Little Richard. So somebody texted in and said, beating and banging and coming from the back. That's means
Doc.
That's Doc. That's how he does it. That's how he does it every weekend. I'm not sure if we're going to get him back.
Slip one in. That's Sneaky Pete.
Doc texted in and said, what happened? And I said, I don't know. You dropped off, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know where you went.
That's all right. We got the racing report. All the meat and potatoes was already there.
Somebody else, Jake said, I only heard part of the last list, but did Sarah Connor make the list?
Yes.
She was on the most inspirational moms.
Amazing moms, yes.
Brenda said, give her a Snickers. You're good. You got your breakfast. What's on that thing? I saw a big slice of cheese. Okay. So not a breakfast sandwich.
Well,
okay.
I don't know. Is a BLT breakfast? Sure.
Mel texted in, said, favorite mom / best mom in the movies, Joan Collins, Mommy Dearest.
Yeah.
Rob texted in, said, the Celtics going 25 for 100 from behind the arc in the first 2 games isn't usually a good recipe for winning a basketball series. No, it's not. It is definitely not. John wants to hear the new song from 3 Days Grace. Try to get to that.
You're right. She's banned from UNC football facilities.
She should be. Well, he went and talked to some publicists unofficially because he's like, this is a mess. How do I fix it? Well,
he did?
Yeah.
Belichick.
You there, Doc? No.
I'm here.
There he is.
Yeah.
All right. So
where did you lose me?
You were talking about Red Cedar Speedway and Mega, and then you were talking
wine and cheese. You left me at wine and cheese.
Yeah, we're talking
wine and cheese.
Okay, so all right, so for when the gates open at 5:00 tonight, there's free wine and cheese tasting for the moms plus gift basket drawings. That starts at 5 p.m. when the gates open. All 6 divisions are at action tonight. Late models, modified, street stocks, super stocks, Midwest mods, and the Red Cedar Hornets. Like we said, gates open at 5. Practice at 6:30. First green flag at 7:00 tonight. Lacrosse Fairground Speedway comes to life tomorrow with practice and media day. Gates open at 9 a.m. Practice for all divisions run from 11 to 3. All media is invited to show up and attend. Season opener is next Saturday. We'll tell you more about that next Friday. There are no smokers on Doc's Smoker calendar, so that officially closes the smoker calendar for the 2025 season. Thank you to all of the teams who sent in their information, and we'll run it back in 2026. And remember, folks, wherever you're at in the country, take your family out and get out and support a great local short track. Doc's Race Report has been brought to you by our friends at County Materials on Empire Street in Holman. Happy Mother's Day to you, Gino, and all the mothers out there. That is this week's Race Report, and I apologize. I don't know what happened there.
That's all right.
Probably your fat cheek.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Press the bell on the phone. Fat ear?
No.
He got too excited talking about free wine and cheese and all the ladies running onto the track, and he just got a little
ladies
slippery.
on the track. There you go.
Got a little slippery over
that's
there.
fun.
A little greasy. Got a little greasy. Doc's Racing Report each and every Friday during the NASCAR season at about 8:15. Bad News, Happy Music is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Police officer in Louisville fired. Why did he get fired, Gene?
He was having sex in the back of his squad car.
Close. It is penile related.
He was spending some quality alone time behind his desk at the station.
A Louisville Metro police officer fired for sending a picture of his penis to a female officer that he was training and then having inappropriate sexual conversations with the woman.
Dude, stop sending pictures.
I'd recognize that penis anywhere.
No girl wants a picture of that.
Trust me, dudes.
Stop it.
They can find the pictures of him.
No girl wants a picture of that.
Officer Justin Lamont.
Come on, Brett Favre.
Terminated for multiple conduct, unbecoming violations. Allegations of harassment, sexual abuse not substantiated. You admitted to engaging in these conversations and sending her the picture while he was on duty and in uniform. Your conduct has brought discredit upon the department. I will not tolerate this type of behavior. by any member of the Louisville Metro Police Department. That was the Chief Paul Humphrey in a statement. Also interviewed the victim, Officer Christine Silk. Kind of interesting that her name was in the news report. Usually they kind of keep that under wraps. Lamont also accused of inappropriate conduct with a female confidential informant and other female citizens. So this guy's just out there sexually harassing everybody.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Attorney Sarah Collins, who represents Silk, the officer who was harassed by this other officer, questioned why Lamont wasn't found to have violated the department's harassment or sexual abuse policies.
Why is that?
She said that's the appropriate action of the termination, but not the appropriate charge. An attorney who represents the officer that was fired said in a statement on Monday that they disagree that sending into their office a sexual image was grounds alone for termination. So sending pictures of your wiener isn't enough for termination?
Guys, stop it. Honest.
Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Sorry about this one, but naked pictures of that are not.
Oh, I don't care. I get you.
That's for.
Well, first of all, there's never a good way to take a picture of it. It's just not meant for that.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't photograph well.
Even if you have an impressive one, right? Like something impressive. It's just, there's really not.
It's not photogenic.
No,
it doesn't.
really.
Nobody wants that.
Silk, by the way, the officer who was sent the picture by this other officer, apparently getting harassed by everybody, filed a lawsuit against the department last year claiming she was sexually harassed by 2 male supervisors during her first year on the job.
Trying to be a woman cop there sounds difficult.
Yeah. Big time. This is in Indiana. Bus driver accused of having a blood alcohol level of .221 while driving children to a school field trip.
I'm not that intoxicated.
Yeah, you were. According to the sheriff's office there, dispatch receiving a call that a school bus was stuck in the mud in the median of the road. The bus driver, Stephen Truelove, taken to the community hospital for a drug and alcohol screen where it was determined that his BAC was .221. You do the math? Almost 3 times the limit.
Yeah.
4 adults, 38 children removed from the bus. Thankfully, no one was injured. He was charged with operating a vehicle while intoxicated.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Yeah. Former bus driver.
Very former.
You probably remember this, the TikTok egg challenge.
Is this the smash it on their face while you're
Let me show you how I crack an egg with one hand. Oh,
yeah. Girl. Yeah.
Crack it on someone's head.
TikTok trend where people would crack eggs on the forehead of an unsuspecting friend or family member, then post the reactions online. Well, there's apparently a mom in Sweden who has been convicted of harassment and was ordered to pay her daughter $2,000 in damages.
Oh, my gosh.
For posting the video of herself cracking the egg on the girl's head. The girl is young, but she wasn't the one who made the complaint.
Who?
Someone else did. Someone who saw the video. And the prosecutor picked it up and ran with it and argued to a judge that it wasn't fun. It was cruel. She said, you simply don't do that to a child. To record and humiliate the child and then broadcast it to thousands of viewers. I find that incredibly degrading. It's a reckless act, and the judge agreed. The mom insisting that it was a harmless prank, but has been ordered by the judge to pay a $2,000 fine.
I wouldn't do it, but it's fine. Come on.
Well, I don't know how old the daughter was. She might have been.
Husband regrets all the time and says, I mean, not all the time, but often says that he wished that we were back in the parenting of young kids when the throwing meat or cheese on their face.
On the face.
Yeah.
So funny.
He's like, I just wish that was that we would have had young ones when that was a thing. He's like, I'd throw so much cheese on their faces when they're crying. So I don't. And he's a good dad. We have good kids. Come on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do the egg thing, and I get we're putting, but that's someone else's battle for them.
38-year-old man in Kansas. His name is Gordon Pierce. He stole a rare 800-pound Spanish-American war cannon from a park in Wichita.
How?
This guy is not a history buff. Wasn't trying to, return it to its glory, its original glory.
Put it on a trailer and dragged it out of there?
He apparently owed his drug dealer $20,000 and was worried that the man was going to kill him if he didn't pay up.
So he stole a cannon.
Gordon told police that he was scouting copper statues to steal and make back the money that he owed to this drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And on April 2nd, he spotted the cannon and figured that might do it, right? It's big, it's heavy, plenty of copper. Then he went and got a homeless person to help him rip it out of the ground. Cheap labor, right?
Hey, buddy, I got this idea.
How much will it take? $20 and a 40? I don't know. What do you pay a homeless person to rip a cannon out of the ground?
I don't know.
He apparently used a chain and a Chevy Tahoe to drag the cannon away. Then he got some tools and cut it up into 4 or 5 pieces. Took the pieces to his drug dealer directly, as opposed to getting the cash on his own.
Here's a cannon part for you?
Yeah. To show him that he was working on figuring out the debt, right? I'm making progress here. Once I sell this cannon piece, I'll have some money for you. The dealer apparently told him that the plan was stupid. That's
because it is.
That's saying a lot when your drug dealer tells you that something you're doing is stupid. Another friend turning Gordon in. He was charged with theft of property, aggravated criminal damage, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
How small and unfun is this town where that nobody sees
Wichita.
a cannon being moved and drug out of the park and put on the back of a Tahoe?
Wichita.
And unless the drug dealer would have turned this guy in, it would have been the mystery of who took the cannon.
So
Where'd it go?
now he's in trouble because he's not only in trouble with the law
for the cannon stealing,
but he still owes this drug dealer $20,000.
Did he pay the homeless person?
Probably not. If you're not paying your drug dealer, are you paying some homeless guy? Probably not, right? Last but not least, sadly, there's no video of this. At least I haven't seen any video of it. 47-year-old hashtag Florida man gored by a bison this week at Yellowstone National Park.
I heard about this, but I didn't see any video. Is there video of the goring?
I've yet to see any video.
How was he? What?
Well, he was doing what stupid ass people do when they go to Yellowstone.
Something?
Yep, got a little too close and got gored for his trouble. The visitor from Cape Coral treated for minor injuries, so it wasn't too bad apparently. But when you hear gore, you're like, oh, that's a horn through the body. Bison will defend their space when threatened and have injured more people in Yellowstone than any other animal.
Well, that's because there's a lot of bison there. It probably had a baby, too, this time of year.
That's what the park said in a news release. They are unpredictable and can run 3 times faster than humans. The park reminds visitors that all wildlife are wild and can be dangerous no matter how calm they appear to be. Apparently, this guy got too close to the bison and got gored for his troubles.
They have to tell people that the wildlife are wild, Brian.
They say that visitors should stay at least 25 yards away from any animal and at least 100 yards away from bears and wolves and never feed any wildlife. If the wildlife approaches you, move away to always maintain these safe viewing distances.
They have to tell people that.
Well, because people are stupid.
If a bear comes near you, go away.
He's furry,
Okay,
though.
good. Got it. Check.
This was Yellowstone's first reported bison-related injury this year. There were 2 last year and 1 in 2023.
It's their first goring of the season. Well, the parks are open then.
Yeah. America's healing.
Mm-hmm.
Florida men are getting gored again. Apparently, one of the Supreme Court justices just died. I just saw that. Breaking news. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got our check-ins coming up in just a bit. Date night winners, we'll get to those as well. Right now, it's Cochise.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website. Head there for all of our contact info and to register for stuff like date night, which is your chance to win pizza and beer at Saxon Hall in Brownsville, along with passes for a movie at the Marcus Cinema in La Crosse. Or...
Yeah, 2 winners.
A flight of beers and a pizza at the Bloomer Brewing Company in Eau Claire.
Yeah, so there's a winner for that, and that is Eric Lubstorff.
Bless you.
Cornell. So congratulations to Eric. He's going to the brewery to do some sampling of some beers and have some pizza.
Hell yeah.
And then Joe Schrader of Chaseburg is going to Saxon Hall.
Congratulations to Eric and Joe, our 2 wieners.
Mm-hmm.
Got a text from John, said, hey, Brian, can you play the new song by 3 Days Grace? Headed to La Crosse for a field trip with our son on the River Queen. Have a good day. Thank you, John. Try to get to that after 9 o'clock.
Like La Crosse Queen?
I think so. Somebody texted in about Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, now banned from UNC's football facility. Good.
Yeah, that's a thing. If you look it up, that's all over the place.
I told you. It's not. I told you this weeks ago, and you laughed and you thought it was funny.
I didn't think it was funny. At the time, I thought, why isn't UNC doing something about this? Because they didn't hire her.
It hadn't gotten completely out of control yet. And then after that CBS interview, it was like, oh, that's how bad it is. And then it started to really...
Any of his former players or others, coaches or anything saying, like, this is weird or we're concerned or...
I'm sure they are in certain spots and places, but, look, it's Belichick. Nobody tells him what to do. He does what he wants. Always has.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless, his family or people close to him go, hey, what's up with this?
Thank you to Chris for sending in the picture about the standard equipment on all Huey helicopters. Fortunate son. On or on. You don't have an off button. Somebody else texted in and said, beating and banging and coming from the back.
Stock.
That's stock for you. Somebody wanted to know if Sarah Connor made the list. I said yes for the most inspirational mom. She was on there, Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda said, give Gene a Snickers. You seem to be in a better mood now that you've had some sandwiches.
I had a half of my sandwich and I'm much better.
Mel said her favorite mom in the movies was Joan Collins and Mommy Dearest.
That made the bad list. Yes, it did.
Dale said agreed, or excuse me, said $34,000. That's 10% of $340,000. And I said $340,000 is greater than $34,000. He said he agrees. A lot of looking over my shoulders on the way out of the woods. What a find. Tom said that's why the person kept the Otani baseball. Would have gotten chump change if the person turned it over. The 50-50 ball, yeah. Jake wanted to know, WTF are antique Crocs? And apparently you're getting a bunch of emails about them now.
So many people want me to buy their Crocs now, which is great. I love it. Thanks. I'm talking like the Crocs that you make, I guess, sauerkraut in or whatever, the 20, 30, 40.
They're like clay, right? They're made of clay?
Pottery.
They're like pottery?
Yes.
No, okay. And you have 3.
I do.
But you need more.
I had a small...
What do you put
here's
in them?
Here's the deal. I had a smaller one. It was like a small one that I bought at an estate sale.
Uh-huh.
And I had it on my plant. I have a plant stand with plants in it. And I was...
Shocking to find that out.
On a plant stand, yes, I know. And we were babysitting someone's dog. Courtney. Sorry, Courtney.
Oh, yeah.
We had the dog for the weekend.
The crazy dog that came in here?
Yes, the crazy dog that came in here.
Is it Bo? What the hell is it?
And it's a great... she's a beautiful, wonderful dog. She's so great. She visits patients in the hospital. I mean, she's a great dog.
Now, but back then...
And she ran into the...
Puppy energy.
Yeah, ran into the thing and busted the crock. So
now you have
I'm
to
looking
you're
for
overcompensating.
I want a small one to put my plant in.
Chris in Alabama texted in and said, I'm with Brian on this one. If I was hiking through the woods and found D.B. Cooper's stolen money, there ain't no way in hell I'd be giving it to anybody. Alex, again, thanks for doing math for me. I'm, this is why I'm a radio DJ. I'm not a...
Oh, yeah, $35,000 and so
10% of 340 is 34.
We didn't try to figure it out. We were just talking.
Travis texted in and said, F that, finders keepers. I will remember those poor people while I drive their brand new car or living the debt-free life. Brandon texted in and said, goddamn right, finders keepers, losers weepers.
Well, there's your club. You have your new club of guys to hang out with, those guys.
I can't imagine finding strange money in the woods and then being like, well, we should just turn this over to the museum.
It wasn't just money in the woods, though.
600 gold coins and then
it was
a
like
box with
antique
some
stuff and old obvious stuff
right,
that
fine.
came from...
I told you can have the bracelets and whatever. I don't care about that. But the gold coins that are worth money, those are coming with me.
Haunted. You're going to be followed by Souls.
Already am. Don't care.
You're not. Souls following you.
Fine.
Well, there's your new group of guys. Get together and have some beers.
Hey, gang, let's take this out of the woods and make sure it gets to the proper authorities. Yay! You combine your rings to form Captain Planet, too? Jesus Christ. You have zero criminal intent in your body whatsoever.
I don't have any.
Just nothing.
I don't.
Nothing. That's not true, because you told me about you were going to, you at the line at the garden thing the other day, you almost had a meltdown.
That's not criminal, though. That's a reaction to a frustrating situation. And I didn't do it. I wanted, like in my brain, I was doing it, but like I would never do that.
Thanks for
in my brain.
Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.